Apologies for the slight technical difficulties here. We welcome you back to Big Train TV. Ben Bobak and Tyler Gallo here in the bottom of the first. Big Train got things started in the top with a Matt Thomas RBI single to take a 1-0 lead. DC has responded here in the bottom of the first. Back-to-back hits, a single by Patrick Vandenberg, double by Evan Smith down the first base line, and then a throwing error that allowed Peter Costigan to reach all the way to second. And DC has now taken a 2-1 lead here with one out. Scott Bandora grounded out to Luke Baker out of Jacksonville, the starting pitcher for the Big Train today, as this one squirts past the catcher Dylan Hatfield, able to find it in front of the batter and recollect. Again, thank you for your patience as always with us. But we're settled in here for game one of this doubleheader. 2-1 DC right now, runner on second, and one out here from the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. And this one cracked foul down the third base line. Rocco Pepe trying to range over, no play possible. Pepe at third, Matt Thomas at first. Up the middle, Christian Martin at second, Keith Torres at short. Brady Gump, the left fielder, Trevor Doyle, the right fielder, and up the middle, it's Darius Foster in center. Rising freshman at Virginia Tech, Dylan Hatfield behind the dish, as this one is popped up down the left field line. Gump ranging over from left field, no play possible. So 2-2 now on Tanner Seguspie, the left fielder for DC, with a runner in scoring position here, looking to make something happen. Extend DC's lead a little bit further here. Baker checks back on the runner at second, now delivers home. This one fouled up straight to us, over our heads, and bouncing into some sort of door back there. That's going to be a souvenir for writer Dylan Spilko.
Is back, ladies and gentlemen.
And I believe that's going to be a walk now to Seguspie. To bring up Cam Buford, last week's Offensive Player of the Week here in the CRCBL, with 2 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the first.
Batted a clean .412 last week, and rightfully so, took home the honors. It's been a bright spot for the grades this season in what's otherwise been a down year.
264 on the year, 14 hits, 9 runs scored, 9 RBIs as well, as this one finds a spot a little too far inside. 2-0 to Buford, the shortstop out of Grambling State. DC comes in 8-16, 11.5 games back of the Big Train in first place in the basement of the CRCBL, and looking to scratch back out of it with an impressive win today. 2 chances in the doubleheader as Buford takes a 3-0, checks back to the dugout for the sign now. Again, Vandenberg singled to start. Smith got him to third with an RBI, with a double down the line. Vandenberg came in to score on an error by the shortstop Torres. Wild throw over the head of Thomas at first to score both Vandenberg from third and Smith from second. And now Luke Baker issues back-to-back walks to load the bases here with 1 out for Jared Sprague-Lott, the designated hitter.
This has been a very rough inning for Luke Baker to lead things off. You know, you're rewarded with a run cushion, and you respond by walking some guys, giving us some hard hit balls. Not the Baker that we're accustomed to here on Big Train TV.
That one pounds over the zone for strike 1 to Sprague-Lott out of Richmond. Baker, the long lefty, working out of the stretch. Checks back over on the runners, now fires home and misses a bit tight. 1 ball, 1 strike. (2-1) here in the bottom of the first. DC looking to add a couple more. This one driven foul down the first base line. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Baker coming into the year, 5 starts, a 1-1 record, 4.76 ERA, 17 innings of work, 16 hits allowed, 9 runs, all of them earned, 12 strikeouts, and 5 walks. He fires for the 1-2, swung on and fouled up the third base line again. Count stays 1 ball and 2 strikes. Double play, ground ball up the middle would end this inning. Baker looking for that or a strikeout here with the bases loaded and 1 out. Bottom of the first, 2-1 DC lead. Checks back on the runner at second. Now kicks, fires home in the dirt. Ball 2 to even the count.
Lucky for Baker, he's got a pretty full slate of arms behind him in the bullpen. If he does waver here like he has a little bit in the first inning, he's got guys behind him that can pick up the slack. You know, full slate of arms, like I said. Almost every righty that's available is available tonight.
Here's the 2-2 high, and the count is full. Nowhere to put Jared Sprague-Lott here with the bases loaded. Benavilla due up on deck, the catcher. Nehemiah Wright, the right fielder, will round out the batting order for Reggie Terry. Stands in the hole. As Baker again kicks, delivers the 3-2. Inside, third consecutive walk. This one will bring home Peter Costigan from third base, and it's 3-1 DC here in the bottom of the first.
I was just going to say, they need to go out there and talk to Luke Baker on the mound. It's been a very troubling last couple of batters for him. He's missed his spots. I think the error got in his head a little bit there.
Couple unearned runs to start for Baker. And that one technically unearned as well, as Costigan reached first base on the error by the shortstop. Came all the way around to score now on the third consecutive base on balls issued. Bases stay full here with 1 out for Benavilla, the catcher. Out of Towson University, righty. Avilla on the year. 240 batting average, 6 hits, 9 walks, 3 RBIs, 10 strikeouts. Has hit into 1 double play. Baker would like to make it 2 here. So new batter, Baker in those orange cleats, back to the stretch with a fresh count on a new batter, Benavilla. First one in there, called strike 1. 3 for DC here in the bottom of the first, looking to add a couple more. Baker to the set. He kicks, he fires the 0-1. Just misses, ball 1.
Not too sure where that one missed. That looked good to me from up here, but we also have a worse angle than the umpire does, obviously. So
Baker trying to work quickly. 1-1 swung on and missed. Maybe tipped it a little bit, Benavilla. Regardless, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Had the count on Sprague-Lott. Issued 3 straight balls to give him a base on balls. Now here's the 1-2 to Avilla. Swung on and missed. That's a big strikeout on a breaker in the dirt from Luke Baker. He gets 2 outs now and a chance to get out of this one without any more damage.
yeah, and still though the DC Grays have batted through in this first inning with Nehemiah Wright coming up here for the 9th batter to come to the plate. But yes, very big strikeout for Luke Baker to get there. It's one that can get some confidence back and maybe put some wind back in the sails for this team.
Would be a huge spot here. Swung on the first pitch, Nehemiah Wright. Fouled back into the backstop there, way behind home plate. Plenty of room back there. Much more than we saw the other night in Gaithersburg. Big win for the Big Train there. Their 20th of the year against the team tied for second with Alexandria. Both of those teams 6 games back. Supposed to face off with the Aces. Big Train last night. Rained out due to field conditions at Shirley Povich Field. They'll play that one next Tuesday before a doubleheader against the Aces down in Alexandria Wednesday. 1-1 now on Wright. Baker again looks back on the runner at second, delivers this one bit high. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Luke Baker this season, 4.76 ERA, has benefited from some bad luck in situations and some good luck in situations, but today really unlucky with that error that he didn't have any part in, but a couple of self-inflicted wounds on the base pass right now.
All 3 on base via the walk as Wright takes a hefty cut through that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes count even again. 3-1 DC, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Big Train looking to get themselves back to the bat after a 1-run top of the first. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts by Luke Baker of the 8-9 hitters for DC. Strands the bases full, but not before the Grays get 3 home here in the bottom of the first. They take a 2-run lead to the top of the second. Coming up next here on Big Train TV. Doyle, Gump, and Martin due up when we come back. Right fielder Trevor Doyle takes ball 1 in there from Jake Davidson. Make it ball 2 now as he starts off things here in the bottom of the second. 6, 7, 8 due up here with the Big Train looking to answer the 3 spot put up in the bottom of the first as Davidson quickly back to the windup on the 2-0 and misses again. Ball 3.
Need a response from the Big Train this inning. Need them to tack on a couple of runs, maybe tie this game up. It's a team that when they get down, they usually try to fight back and do it in a big way.
Here's a 3-0, high and outside, 4-pitch walk to Trevor Doyle. And inning number 2 starts off for the Big Train the same way inning number 1 did, with a base on balls.
I think they'll take what happened in the first inning, again getting a run across the score, but they need runs in bunches here.
Doyle coming home to score would have the lead, 3-1 here in the bottom of the first. Doyle leads off first. This one bounces away, scooped up by Avila. Doyle caught in no man's land, throw down to Vandenberg in time. Doyle's going to run all the way back to first, caught in a rundown, trying to avoid the tag. It does! Sensational play by Trevor Doyle to stay in the base pass. Thought he was gunned down at second by a mile, ran all the way back to first. Duck, dip, dived out of the way of the tag. Put on by Peter Costigan, got that right arm in, and he stays at first base with plenty of mileage in between.
Shades of Josh Harrison there on the base pass in that rundown. What a play by Trevor Doyle. That was phenomenal. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
He was about 6 inches shy of being tagged out by Vandenberg at second base and just said, nope, I'm going to put it in reverse, head the other way, and somehow managed to swim his way around the tag. So it stays nobody out and a runner on first here for the Big Train in the top of the second. 1-1 to Brady Gump at the plate. Takes that one for ball 2 in the proverbial dirt.
Well, that's
Old Turf Field here at the Nationals Youth Academy.
That's just poor defense by the DC Grays. Playing lackadaisical defense there, not really making an attempt to tag him. We thought they got him at second base.
Half-hearted tag from Vandenberg.
And instead, Doyle is back where he was started. And, Costigan at first base, not a natural first baseman. We normally see him in the outfield, so that could be why that happened. But
3-1 to Doyle. Hitters count here as Davidson comes set out of the stretch. He kicks, he fires in there with the off speed. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
We'll see if Doyle's in motion this time. Would you say, well, here's the question. Would you say that Doyle stole first base there in that situation? Because he stole his way back onto the bag. I mean, not statistically stole first.
Not
base.
statistically, but, you know, again, sure, why not? Just from a pure survival standpoint, runner does go on the 3-2, and it's tight on Gump for ball 4 on the 3-2 pitch. So no need for Doyle to sprint his way down to the second bag as he gets it freely. Brady Gump works the second consecutive base on balls here in the second inning. 2 on, Doyle in scoring position, nobody out here in the top of the second for Christian Martin, the second baseman, rising freshman at Virginia Tech in the fall to come.
Ben, you know, I'm kind of sad now because when we got here, it was popping at the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. I like these afternoon starts. Like the
Martin shows bunt, trying to place it down the third base line with infield not creeping up too fast. Pulls it a little bit foul. Strike 1.
But it was jumping here at the Youth Academy. They were having a kickball, I guess, outing of sorts.
Kickball fundraising of some sort, scholarship opportunities and such. Part of the beauty of the Youth Baseball Academy, of course, fostering a love for baseball and softball, but also community events such as that make a place such as this so special. Martin showing bunt again. This time gets it down a little bit hard right to the third baseman. Smith not able to make a play with Davidson calling him off, coming off the mound, so safe all around. And bases loaded. Nobody out here for Dylan Hatfield, looking to turn the order over in style.
Man, that was a great bunt. That was a phenomenal play. Yeah, he got it too hard, but it went right past every fielder, and he's got a single for himself.
Smith, the third baseman, was working in. Thought Davidson was coming off the mound to field it, but Davidson's angle didn't allow him to throw anywhere, as Doyle was well safe at third and couldn't make the turnaround throw to first to get Martin. So Martin places the bunt for a hit perfectly. And again, bases loaded here, nobody out. And the Big Train with a great opportunity to answer, down 3-1 here in the second. Check swing by Martin, and it's 1-1. Or Hatfield, pardon.
Hatfield, you know, bases loaded, nobody out. We'd like to find a hole here and get it through, maybe tie this game up. Hatfield, a guy that could endear himself to the fans here with 1 base hit.
Hatfield just 1 RBI on the year, just 15 at-bats for him, though. Would love a couple more here. Takes that one inside at the knees. 1-2 now. Young catcher, committed to Virginia Tech. Getting his feet wet here in the CRCBL with a big opportunity at the dish. 1-2. Here's the delivery. Breaking ball inside in the dirt. And the count goes even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, a beautiful, sparkling day for baseball in the nation's capital. 85 degrees, very lightly cloudy as the 2-2 swung on, driven into right field. That's gonna get by right and roll all the way to the wall. Hatfield churning for second. He's got a chance for 3. The bases will clear. Hatfield slides in, stand up, 3 RBI triple for Dylan Hatfield. And the Big Train take the lead again.
How about that for Dylan Hatfield? That's exactly what he was looking for in that situation. I don't think he anticipated coming to the ballpark today and getting a triple, but he did right there. Nehemiah Wright playing a bit back on that one, and as soon as he doubled back on it a little bit, I knew he was going to miss that ball. Came in and dove, went to the wall. 3 runs are in. Big Train have the lead once more.
Dylan Hatfield's first extra base hit of the season is a 3 RBI bases clearing triple into the right field corner. Wright came in looking to make a sensational web gem-esque play. It bounced behind his glove, rolled all the way to the burnt orange warning track out there by the 345 sign in right field. And Doyle scored from third, Gump from second, Martin from first, Hatfield down to third. Still no outs here, and the Big Train answer with a 3 spot of their own so far here in the second.
Perfectly placed that right in front of Nehemiah Wright where he just couldn't get to the ball. An absolutely wonderful play there for him to get 3 RBI. It's a guy that, you know, started the season off pretty slowly, but now he's picking it up. And I've really been impressed with his play over his last couple of outings.
So 1-1 now on the leadoff hitter, Darius Foster. And this one bounces away. Hatfield comes in to score a well-earned last 90 for him as he makes it 5-1. Big Train, or 4-3 Big Train. No, 5-3 Big Train. I was right the first time. Had the first number right, the second number wrong. Got it eventually.
It's all
Third
right,
time's the charm.
It's all right. It's an afternoon game. We're not here too much.
We're just warming up. This one in there for a strike. 2-2 down to Foster. 9 innings scheduled here in the first game. 7 innings in the evening game to come. Scheduled for 7 p.m.-ish. 45 minutes after the conclusion of this one. Foster drives the 2-2 pitch into the second base hole. Vandenberg scoops it up deep onto the outfield grass. Flips over to Costigan for out number 1. Foster retired on a good play by the second baseman, Patrick Vandenberg.
And just that triple, this field is unforgiving. When the ball will bounce in, it will bounce far, and that's how pretty springy the turf is when you play on a turf field. And it showed there, bounced past the glove of Nehemiah right as he go for it, and into the outfield all the way to the wall. Sort of
play the coaches might say you'd be better off letting one run come in, but taking that one on a hop, trying to get the ball in as soon as possible to stop that exactly from happening. As first pitch called strike on Keith Torres. Showed bunt, pulled back, took the strike. Now takes ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike on the shortstop. Namesake of the Kifa. Newest hot dog available from Catalyst at Shirley Povich Field. We'll have more on that in the days to come. Stay tuned tomorrow night, maybe. Here's the 2-1 to Torres from Davidson. Hit high in the air. Straight up, coming in is Costigan from first, working over into the first base foul territory behind Sam Bender's coaching box there, and he collects it. 2 plate appearances and 2 pop-ups to the first baseman for Torres. Slightly frustrated with himself. So 2 outs now, and Matt Thomas coming to the bat here with the bases empty.
Torres is very Jeff McNeil-esque in that he never wants to make an out and always shows frustration when he does make those outs. But this season, Torres has been very impressive nonetheless.
So Thomas to the plate with that .362 batting average. 25 hits, 23 runs, 20 RBIs, and 22 walks drawn. Stuffed stat sheet for Matt Thomas out of the College of William & Mary. Takes the first 2 for balls. Now drives 2-0, foul up to Coach G. Bouncing back to Smith, the third baseman. Evan Smith out of West Virginia over there in the hot corner. 2-1. Davidson into the windup. High and inside. Ball 3 to Thomas. Hitters count here. 3 balls and 1 strike.
And now we'll have to see, Ben. The Big Train might be in a position to clinch the division tonight if they can take 2 games and Gaithersburg loses theirs, but I'll have to check on that.
Have to do some math on that end. And the 3-1 is too tight on Thomas. And another walk here for Jake Davidson. The 3rd of this inning, 4th overall. And there's a base runner now for Rocco Pepe. Scorched one to right on the first pitch he saw back in the first inning.
So we're going to have to wait a little bit for that because there's 11 games, I believe 11 or 12 games left on the schedule to play. So we'll have to wait a couple of games, but should be in position soon. Magic number probably hovering around 5 or 4 right now.
1-0 on Pepe. Davidson from the stretch now. Thomas bounces off first. He's going to go. Avila fires, throw in time, but a little short there for Vandenberg. Can't get the tag over, and Thomas slides in with a stolen base.
It was in time, but too late there, Ben, as he beat up the slide, did a nice little
just
wraparound slide there to get
maybe
the bag.
Half a foot too short. Good slide, as he said, from Thomas. And 3-0 now on Rocco Pepe. Control starting to elude Jake Davidson here in the top of the second. 4 home for the Big Train. Matt Thomas in scoring position with 2 outs. And a dangerous hitter, especially in this ballpark, at the plate in the form of Rocco Pepe. All 3 of his home runs have come in this ballpark. And this one scorched high in the air. And that one's going to get down, play at the plate, and Thomas is called out. Gunned down by Scott Bandora, the center fielder. 8-2 put out to end the inning. Base knock there from Pepe erased. And that's the third out of the inning. But the Big Train answer in a big way. They put up 4 here in the top of the second. Take a 5-3 lead. Luke Baker back to the mound. Bottom of the second. Coming up next after this word from our sponsor at the Dandy Walker Alliance.
One in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy Walker syndrome. Dandy Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
One pitch from Scott Bandora, lines sharply to Rocco Pepe. At third base, took on one hop, fired over to Matt Thomas for a quick first out to this one. Similar to the way that Luke Baker was able to start off the bottom of the first, but now with a 2-run lead here in the bottom of the second, looking to have a little bit smoother of an inning than they had the first time around. 3 runs home on a couple of walks, a couple hits, and 1 error by the Big Train. And this one hit high in the air by Vandenberg. That's going to get down in right center field. He'll round first. He's got his second consecutive single here for a 1-out runner on to bring up Evan Smith, third baseman out of West Virginia. Doubled Vandenberg over to third, then came home to score in the first. Looking for a similar piece of work here, the lefty hitter.
Yeah, Evan Smith, put together a good at-bat there, and honestly just trying to do the same thing like he did last time.
Baker back to the stretch, checks over on Vandenberg at first, now fires this one straight over the plate for strike 1 on Smith. As we said, 6 consecutive batters reached base for DC in the bottom of first before Baker shut them down with 2 strikeouts of Avila and Wright to end the threat. Going to do that a little bit earlier here in the second. 1-1 count on Smith. That's left, throws right. Mountaineer out of West Virginia. air coming out the back of his batting helmet. Windy day here in DC. 1-1 in there. Called strike 2 from Baker.
And it'll be interesting to see if Baker can settle in here after that opening inning where he probably didn't want the line that he had, but we'll have to see what he does here.
A couple unearned runs for Baker in that inning. Just trying to settle in control-wise. Find his spot. Checks back over on Vandenberg at first. Delivers this one to home. Dribbler up to third base. No chance for 2. Pepe straight over to Thomas. For out number 2. Vandenberg down to second on the sacrifice ground out for Evan Smith.
Yeah, productive at bat there for Evan Smith, and gets a runner in scoring position now for Peter Costigan.
Runner on second. 2 outs. Home plate umpire is gonna discard that baseball. We got a little scratched up by the turf pellets or something. Baker will get a new pearl in his hand, explaining to Hatfield what it was. The runner on second, 2 outs here for Peter Costigan. He reached on that error in the first, the only error of the game so far by either squad. Brought home 2 runs, not technically RBIs, as Baker pumps in strike 1 past him. As you mentioned, Costigan, a natural outfielder out of the College of Charleston. At first base today. Here's the 0-1 check swing. Did not go around, says the first base umpire, and it'll be 1 ball and 1 strike. Wind blowing in straight from the 326 sign in left field. 7 down the left field line. 326 as this one is hit high in the air towards right center field. Foster coming over on the run. Makes the grab just shy of the warning track. And so DC gets 1 aboard, but they leave him at second base. 3 outs here in the bottom of the second. A scoreless second frame for Luke Baker and co. The Big Train take a 5-3 lead at the top of the third. Back of the bat when we come back on Big Train TV. Kemp Alderman to lead off things here in the third. I think we've got our audio problems figured out now too. All sorts of fun so far here in the first game of this doubleheader, getting the kinks ironed out. As Alderman starts off with 3 straight balls from Jake Davidson. So we see some light action in the DC bullpen beyond left field. Here's the 3-0 to Alderman. Tight, ball 4. And so 3 innings, 3 leadoff walks for the Big Train offense.
Yeah, and that's a lot of traffic on the base pass, and that's the 5th walk issued today by Davidson. Not a line he wants to go home with. As we did see, though, one of his teammates, Hassan Akil, allow 8 in one game.
Keel potentially available out of the bullpen tonight. A 95 pitch relief appearance as this one hit hard but foul on the ground up the first base line for strike one to Trevor Doyle, who had one of the most interesting pickoff appearances, pickoff attempts I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'll say.
If you missed that, danced off first base, was caught in no man's land on a ball in the dirt to Avila the catcher. As it's 1-1 now on Doyle. Started off with a foul ball strike. Now this one high and outside. Got all the way halfway to second base, ran down to second base as Avila, the catcher, fired that one in. Vandenberg, the second baseman, not able to put the tag on. And so Doyle just backtracked as fast as he could, sprinted back towards the first base bag. Vandenberg ran about halfway down the line before flipping it over to Costigan, the first baseman. And Doyle was simply able to swim away from the tag and get that arm back to the first base bag to retreat safely. Now Alderman taking off from first. Bouncing throw past Buford covering from shortstop. Vandenberg able to stop it from rolling further. And it's Kemp Alderman's turn to swipe second base and put a runner in scoring position here with nobody out and Doyle at the plate.
Kemp showing the wheels. Big wheels keep on turning. Right there as he gets second base on the
Alderman keeps on moving. Just keeps on rolling down the base path. So a 5-3 lead here for the big train. 3-1 by Doyle, driven well foul down the left side. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Proud Kemp keeps on turning.
In Birmingham, they love the governor.
That's a different song.
Yeah, I was
3-2 to Doyle.
Strike 3.
Strike 3 called on the outside edge. Good location. Doyle thought it was ball 4. It's the first strikeout. This one looking of any big train batter this afternoon. And the first out here in the 3rd inning. Good pitch there from Davidson.
Good frame by the catcher, too. Good frame by catcher Avila.
Avila's had tough outing so far with the big train running all over him. As this one dips just above the knee of Brady Gump, who walked and scored, much as Doyle did. A little bit quieter, but same trip home, essentially. 0-1 on him. Left fielder out of Notre Dame. Now chops this one up the left side of the infield. Smith, the third baseman, loses it. Just off the tip of his glove, trying to scoop it up on the charge. Can't handle it smoothly. And Brady Gump reaches on the error by the third baseman.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they call that. Yeah, they do call it an error on the third baseman. So reaching first on an E5 there for Brady Gump, and 2 runners on in scoring position now for Christian Martin, who beat out a great bunt hit last time.
Absolutely. 1 out here, so maybe if he can square one down the first base line, the lefty. Instead, looking to swing and takes the first pitch in there. For it called strike. As you said, Martin put one perfectly to Smith at third base, but some confusion between him and Davidson. A little bit of no man's land. Alderman no chance to advance to third on the error. This one grounded up the middle. Buford flips over to Vandenberg at second. Firing over to Costigan in time. 6-4-3. And the side is retired. Big Train puts 2 on. They leave 1 aboard. Nothing comes home for them in the top of the 3rd. 5-3 Train rolling to the bottom of the 3rd.
one.
Tanner Seguspie, left fielder for the DC Grays, starts off with strike one called by Luke Baker. As we take a look at his stats coming into tonight so far, a couple strikeouts, a couple walks issued. This one grounded up the middle, no chance for Torres coming in, and that's a base knock for Seguspie. Reached on a walk in the first, so 1 for 1 now with 2 trips to first base. Was stranded at third back in the first. And he starts things off with a leadoff single here, bringing up Cam Buford. Already talked about his accomplishments last week as the CRCBL offensive honoree. Baker fires. Second straight week for DC that they had somebody among those honors. Tucker Alch, the pitcher of the week 2 weeks ago, along with Matt Thomas, the offensive player that week. And check swing here from Buford. Yes, he did, says the first base umpire, and it's 0-2 on the shortstop out of Grambling State. He also walked in the first frame.
Yeah, and
Baker comes set. Quick check off the back mound. That's a great pickoff move there from Baker, but not in time to get Seguspie leaning off first.
Yeah, that is a very good pickoff move from Luke Baker.
Not the traditional lefty move.
Right. The straight step move where he steps off.
And runner goes on the 0-2. That one missed a little inside, I guess. No throw down from Hatfield, and Seguspie takes second unopposed.
But as I was saying, Baker benefited from some good luck and some bad luck this season. Been a tumultuous terms of luck this year for him. And today, he really got out to a rough start, but has settled into this game.
Settled in, and his offense picked him right up, and he's doing his best to pick them up. Starting off here with a strikeout of Cam Buford.
Yeah, that's his third strikeout of the game, and you were hoping that he would get even to this point after that first inning, but luckily for him, it'll be interesting to see how long his line is. Don't know how late he will go into this game. We do know that there's a lot of guys available in the bullpen, and we'll see who's available for the second game as well.
3 is the magic number for Baker so far. 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, 3 hits, 3 runs allowed, as this one bounces in the dirt to start off Jared Sprague-Lott, who the third straight walk in that first. Seguspie, Buford, and Sprague-Lott all walked, but were all stranded as Baker came back to strike out Avila and Wright to end the first there. Big swing and a miss there from Sprague-Lott to even the count. Sprague-Lott out of Richmond, utility player. He drives this one foul up the right side. Little loop-de-loop-de there, dropping a few feet outside the fair play area. And it'll be 1-2 when Baker works his way back onto the mound to the rosin bag for a little bit now. Now gets that back foot set on the front of the rubber. Sleeve slightly rolled up. Long look into Hatfield behind the dish. Gets the sign he likes, comes set, hands at the chest. Checks back on the runner at second. Kicks, fires home. Ground ball, foul up the third base line. Count stays 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ryan Doherty among the names available to the pen, working back out there from the dugout. Here's Baker, sets and fires for the 1-2. And this one fouled off for the third consecutive time. Sprague-Lott doing his best to work the count. Actually, I think that one was tipped way back into the mitt. A hard pop there off the bat of Sprague-Lott. Sounded like it went foul. Not the best angle here, straight into the sun from up in the Dandy Walker Alliance broadcast booth here up the first base line. That one tipped foul straight into Hatfield's mitt. So it's a strikeout for Jared Sprague-Lott, and 2 outs here with a runner on second, and Ben Avila with a hefty swing and a miss to start off his second at-bat of this game.
Yeah, and a strikeout that I'm sure he will take in that situation back-to-back here.
And another swing and a miss there from Avila, and he's quickly in a hole here, 0-2. Trying to avoid his second straight swinging K in 2 plate appearances this afternoon. Baker looking to do just that. He comes set. Quick check on the runner at second. Now comes home. Runner goes. Hatfield throws in time. And a good tag by Pepe will end the inning. A slight round of applause there from Luke Baker for his young catcher Hatfield as he guns out Tanner Seguspie at third base. Ben Avila will be the batter when DC comes back to the bat. But first, Big Train to the plate in the top of the 4th. Due up, Hatfield, Foster, and Torres. New pitcher here for the DC Grays in the top of the 4th. Jake Davidson, the starter's day is done. It'll be the Harvard man out of the bullpen, Joseph O'Connell, the righty. Tyler, what's he been like so far this year?
Well, he's allowed 23 earned runs in 18 1/3 innings for this team. He's been a guy that they use quite often, but a guy that doesn't reward them by using him quite often. So we'll see if that's more of the same here in this outing. Let me check his worst outing was. It just
starts off with a strike to Dylan Hatfield, fresh off gunning down the left fielder Seguspie at third to end the 3rd. Slightly interesting delivery, almost a slide step out of the stretch for O'Connell. Got some lettuce hanging out the back of his cap. Slightly Jesse Barron-esque delivery as well as he fires another breaking ball outside, and it's 2-1 on Hatfield.
Well, Ben, you know, this season he has appeared in just 1 win for this team, but also he's 0-2. He pitched 2 1/3 scoreless innings against the Big Train, just allowed 1 hit, but the opponents are batting .361 against him, and he's got a 2.02 whip this season, so it's just been tough sledding. He allowed 7 earned runs against the Braves in an inning and 2/3.
2-2 now on Hatfield as that one called a strike. Goes around on this one, fouls it straight over, and just before the softball field, caught in the first baseline fence over there.
Well, Ben, cycle watch for Dylan Hatfield. He's got the hardest part out of the way.
Yeah, Jolly Hendricks on his way to the little boys' room, I would presume, able to collect that baseball, and Hatfield will foul it back again. Count stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm just so impressed by, I mean, this is going to be a complete aside because he's not even in the roster right now. I'm just so impressed by Hendrick's ability to get a cap over that tuft of hair coming off. Here's the 2-2 to Hatfield. Again, fouled straight back. This one will reach the softball field. Third straight.
Yeah, Jolly Hendricks is going to have to go get back. But we saw him lose his hat several times.
Yeah.
His brain bucket a couple of times out there.
He's got a sweet fro, man. 2-2 to Hatfield. This one cracked in play to Buford. The shortstop fires over, scooped up on the low throw by Costigan in time to retire Hatfield for the first out of this inning. Nearly beat that one out. Pretty standard infield ground out. And it's out number 1. So for the third time in 4 innings, Darius Foster to the plate here with 1 out. Foster 0 for 1 with a ground out to Vandenberg at second. Walked and scored as the first batter in this game. Shows bunt, pulls it back, and it's low for ball 1. And this one misses as well, and it's 2-0 on Foster. Speedy center fielder out of San Francisco. Just doing his best to save me, San Francisco. Here's the 2-0, hit high in the air, but shallow. Coming in is right. He settles under it and makes the catch about halfway from the infield to the outfield fence. And it's 2 outs here for Keith Torres.
We'll see if Torres can complete the trifecta of P3s today.
I'm sure he'd like to avoid that as much as possible. 2 straight pop outs to Costigan in foul territory to start this thing for Torres. Takes the first one in there just above the knees for strike 1 from O'Connell. Looking to settle in here in some middle relief innings for DC. They trail 5-3 with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. And 0-2 now on Torres. Looking at the first 2 he sees, both for called strikes. Settles in. Little rocking action as he brings the bat back behind the head. Set, fires, 0-2. Called strike 3. Torres goes down looking. And Big Train go down in order and quietly here in the top of the 4th. They'll look to defend the 2-run lead. Middle of 4th here from the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy in Southeast. ¿Por qué no los dos? Benavilla back to the plate here after Tanner Seguspie was caught stealing with an 0-2 count on him. He'll get a fresh set here of balls and strikes and immediately takes one off the front foot. And so after being in a 0-2 hole in the bottom of the third. Comes to bat here to start off the bottom of the fourth and takes advantage of the fresh start as best he can, wearing one off the front foot again, and he reaches on a hit by pitch.
It's almost funny, you know, I think Luke Baker would probably love to have that last at-bat back where he could just finish him off with a strikeout and then turn the lineup, well, get to Nehemiah Wright and then turn the lineup over. But not how the cookie has crumbled.
I'm sure he'd at least like that 1-2 count technically that the inning ended on, as Wright shows bunt, pulls it back with a ball way inside. Had to squirt that front foot out of the way to avoid a similar fate to Benavilla in front of him. 1-0. Baker checks back on the runner at first, showing bunt again is Wright. Missed it completely, didn't pull it back. Ball just dives straight below that bat. 1 ball, 1 strike on Nehemiah Wright, the right fielder. Shows bunt again on the 1-1, chops this one foul. Straight back to Kemp Alderman, the designated hitter, coming out of the dugout. And it's 1-2. On the righty out of Grambling. Couple Grambling players on this roster. 3 of them in the starting lineup. This one grounded to Martin at second. He flips it over to Torres, over to Thomas, not in time. Wright beats out the chance to turn 2. The speedy Nehemiah Wright down the first base line reaches on the fielder's choice. But 1 gone now for Scott Bandora and the top of the DC order.
Bandora looking to maybe get it out of the infield for once. Grounded out to the pitcher his first time up, and then, of course, lined out sharply to Rocco Pepe.
Takes the first pitch for a ball from Luke Baker. Big 6'6" lefty out of Jacksonville. Settling in nicely here through 3 1/3. Delivers that one a little bit too far outside, 2-0. Baker again looks back on Wright. Wright goes at the movement of the pitcher. This one tapped to Martin, able to avoid the double play for the second consecutive batter as Wright was off the second. Baker strode towards home, but Martin will flip it on over easily to Thomas for out number 2, and Bandora cannot get it out of the infield. He's hit it to now 3 of the 5 or 5.5-ish infield players. Ground out to the pitcher, ground out to Pepe, and a ground out to Martin at second base now. As a check swing by Vandenberg on ball 1. Now with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th, a 5-3 Big Train lead and a DC runner into scoring position now.
Well, Ben, you know, being the leadoff hitter, you could have a couple more at-bats in this game and potentially ground it to every infielder.
3 through 4 already. This one grounded to Torres in the shortstop hole. He fires on chest height to Thomas. Flips it back towards the mound. A very quick third out there from Patrick Vandenberg, who's retired for the first time tonight. So DC leaves 1 on no hits. The fielder's choice by Nehemiah Wright gets over to second and no further. Luke Baker hangs a 3rd consecutive 0 on the scoreboard. It's a 5-3 Big Train lead, rolling to the top of the 5th on Big Train TV. O'Connell back to the rubber for DC here in the top of the 5th. Matt Thomas coming to bat here, looking to start things off. O'Connell out of the stretch. Thomas showing bunt and curved that one back behind him. Interesting motion as he tried to lay that one down on the third base line. Reggie Terry will come out of the DC dugout to collect that one. Sam Bender, the first base coach for the Big Train. Coach G. Galvin Morris down the third base line. Sal Colangelo, of course, the Hall of Fame CRCBL manager, recently reached his 500th win in this league competition. As Thomas goes to a knee, swinging through strike 2 there. 0-2 on the stalwart of this Big Train batting order, Matt Thomas out of William and Mary. O'Connell set. Quick pitch out of the stretch, and a swing and a miss there from Thomas as he goes down for out number 1 here in the 5th.
Big Train has been pretty silent since that big 4-run outburst in the second, and they've just been held in check. They have no answer this season for O'Connell.
Some hefty pops from just below us to our right in the Big Train bullpen. This one in the brown turf, low to start off Rocco Pepe with ball number 1. Digs that front foot in, a little twisted. Tight batting stance, swings and misses through an off-speed pitch. A little bit low there to even the count. Pepe 1 for 2 today. Close to an RBI single in the second, but Thomas gunned out by Seguspy, the left fielder at home, trying to score. So Pepe stranded after a solid base knock through the left side of the infield. Flew out to right field, his first at bat. First pitch he saw. Takes this one just below the knees, a little tight as well. For ball 2.
So we were here when Pepe homered twice in one game. How about homering in both halves of the doubleheader? He hasn't homered today, but we'll see if somebody can do that.
He drives this one high in the air behind the bullpen and bouncing nearly perfectly to the mound of field 3 to our left. And it's 2-2, count even on the third baseman out of Long Beach State. And he drives this one just foul down the left field line. Trying to show off a little of that pop.
He wants that corner. He really does.
Does want that corner. He's homered all 3 times to that left field side. 2 of them have been more towards the 326-foot sign and the scoreboard in left center. The one in between, just inside the left field foul pole. Here's the 2-2 outside with the breaker, and the count is full on Pepe here with 1 out in the top of the 5th. O'Connell working quickly, comes set, delivers a little bit low, and Pepe will take his base, so not quite a leadoff walk, but with 1 out, Pepe aboard here for the second time tonight. Going to get a little bit more time on the base paths this time around, potentially.
You could say that, and then Kemper Alderman here could line into a double play, Ben.
That's why I said potentially. Covering my steps as we go. Alderman.
This is a ballpark that I think
0 for 1, reached on a walk, stole second in the third.
As I was going to say,
ball 1 in there from O'Connell.
This ballpark is one that I think Kemper is best suited for Kemper Alderman.
Absolutely. Hefty righty pull power. He's also shown the tendency to obliterate a ball to center field. 367 into deep left center as O'Connell steps off to check back on oven-mitted Rocco Pepe. Ready now for the 1-0 to Alderman at the plate. Takes a long look in, now slide step in. Alderman chopping this one, and a beautiful snag by Costigan at first, diving in to avoid the tag. What a play by Peter Costigan at the first base corner. Robbed Kemp Alderman of a line drive into right field with a snag out of the air. Nearly had the chance to turn 2. As you maybe foreshadowed a little bit but Pepe with a solid slide under Buford's tag attempt. And there's 2 gone here with a runner in scoring position for Trevor Doyle.
How about that play by Costian? I mean, it's going to go as a sacrifice ground out for Camp Alderman, but a very exclamation point of that. Add an exclamation point to that one right there.
Hit hard the other way, and it's just, I can't get over leaping to his left and making effective use out of that mitt was Peter Costigan. Pepe might be on third. Alderman might be heading towards second. Who knows where that ball would have ended up if it had squirted past the first baseman. As the wind picking up here at the Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. 5-3 Big Train lead here with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Looking to add some insurance for their bullpen the rest of the way. Strike 1 into Doyle out of Sacramento State. 0 for 1 today, struck out looking, reached on a walk as we've talked about in depth back in the 2nd inning and came around to score eventually. Takes that one outside for ball 1. Doyle taps the plate, checks his swing, now settles into the left-handed batter's box. High stance. O'Connell set on the mound. He delivers the 1-1 in there just above the knees on the outside corner. And it's 1-2 to Doyle. O'Connell, one of those opposing pitchers who'd fit right in with the Big Train pitching staff as fast as he works. Takes a look back off Pepe off second. Comes set. Fires the 1-2 inside. Doyle turns away from that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Count even on the left-handed hitter. Stinger out of Sacramento State. Cemented his spot as a go-to corner outfielder this season for Sal Colangelo. Some impressive hitting at the plate. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed at a breaking ball, low and away. And Doyle goes down for the 2nd time tonight. Pepe gets aboard via the walk. Heads over to second, but stranded right there. The Big Train leave just the 1 and take a 5-3 lead to the bottom of the 5th from the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. A wholehearted round of applause for Luke Baker as he went back into the bullpen to change out of his cleats in the last half inning with the DC Grays at bat. So his day is done after 4 very strong innings, bounced back after a up and down first frame, and he'll turn it over to Kyle Robinson out of the bullpen. He induces a ground ball on the 1-1 count to get Evan Smith, the third baseman, chopping it to Martin, flips it over to Thomas at first, and there's one gone here for the rising freshman at Texas Tech in the 2021-2022 season to come. Was coming out of the bullpen in the bottom of the 8th the other night in Gaithersburg when that game was called with 1 out and nobody, or 1 on and nobody out in the bottom of the 8th. A 9-1 Big Train lead in that game that ended up as the final score, as the rain really picked up late in that ball game. Umpires said that was enough, didn't want to risk anybody's health, and so Robinson will come out of the pen here first for the Big Train. This is a high fly ball just towards us and straight off the building to our right, bouncing down into the bullpen. Heads up, Matt Howitt, as he was able to avoid that one. And it's 1-2 on Peter Costigan. This one misses outside from the hard throwing 6'5" righty. Local Virginia kid.
Fully loaded.
Absolutely with the stuff. This one lined just into the short outfield grass. Keith Torres easily under that one. And there's 2 gone here in the 5th for Robinson.
Getting outs that he wasn't able to record when we were in Gaithersburg.
Didn't get the chance. Allowed a leadoff single, I believe it was, or maybe a walk. Let me quickly check the book there. Unless the wind is able to throw it away. It's picking up here in the middle innings.
I think he just didn't finish the at-bat.
I thought there was 1 runner on first, but I don't have anything written down, so you may be right. Or maybe I was just trying to avoid getting everything wet, as this one is called ball 1 on Seguspy. Here's the second pitch, just above the knees. Nice location there. A little bit low with the heat, but 1 ball and 1 strike to the left fielder, Tanner Seguspy. Robinson working quickly, high pop up. Robinson calling everybody off. Thomas coming in to call him off, and he collects it. It's a very quick 1-2-3 inning here in the 5th for Kyle Robinson. Big Train bullpen starts off strong. They'll have some more time to protect this 5-3 lead. Big Train bats looking to add 6th inning coming up next. New arm out of the DC Grays bullpen. It's Justin Melton out of Emory College, the righty, wearing number 45 here in the top of the 6th to face the bottom of the Big Train order. Gump, Martin, and Hatfield due up here as Melton will settle in. Tall righty, a little bit of a different motion as he gets that front foot forward. Now slow kick, slow delivery, and a breaking ball. Misses just low to start off his day with a 1-0 count on the right fielder out of Notre Dame, Brady Gump. Quickly back to the plate and missing again. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Two and 0, misses low, and it's ball 3 now. Control issues eluding the Grays bullpen here in this one.
And then we'll see if it's
trying to put one in there and does just above the knees. And it's 3-1 now.
And we'll see if his control issues in this first batter are a harbinger of things to come in this outing for him.
3-1 way high all the way to the backstop. Avila will have to hustle over to pick that one up as Melton works a 5-pitch walk. Just his second appearance of the season for DC. Decent effort in that first one, a 1-inning appearance. Allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and got the win without allowing an earned run. Back against the Giants on July the 9th. Yesterday night, a 13-7 win. So back to work here in back-to-back days, game 1 of this doubleheader. And he starts off Martin with a ball outside right where he left off, with Gump leading off first.
Gallostradamus again.
1-0 bounces about 10 feet short. Good block off the umpire there. Avila had no idea where it was. Umpire stung a little bit on that one. Just trying to walk it off. And it's a quiet 2-0 here to Martin. Gump advances to second on the wild pitch. I mean, that thing bounced just after the cutout in front of the plate, a good 5 or so feet short. And the 2-0 misses, and the second consecutive 3-0 count here to start for Melton. Laboring through this outing so far, just 2 batters deep, yet to retire anyone in the top of the 6th. Gump leads off second, comes home, ball bounces away inside. Martin will take his base, and Gump will hold at third. Runners on the corners with nobody gone for Dylan Hatfield here. Top of the order on deck in Darius Foster. And the Big Train again threatening to add some insurance here in the 6th.
It's been a very good night, or a good evening for the bottom of the order today. Couple of hits, couple of walks. They've reached base a couple of times. It's been all in a good day's work.
So Melton to the plate. Check swing there. I don't think. Hard to tell if that one hit off of the check swing by Hatfield or just popped into Avila's mitt and bounced down. Regardless, it was bouncing loose there on a dead ball for a second. 0-1 to Hatfield. And he sends this one high in the air, left side. Smith under it. Buford calls him off. And he will settle under it for the first out. Pop up to Buford on the left side of the infield. Smith lost it a little bit in the sun. Lost his hat as well in the process. And Hatfield is retired as the first out here in the 6th. That will bring up, indeed, Darius Foster with runners still on the corners. 1 gone. Looking for that all-important insurance run here. 5-3 Big Train lead, 1 out. Top of the 6th of this game 1 of the doubleheader. 9 innings in the first, 7 to play in the second game to come. Scheduled for 7 p.m. or 45 minutes after this one ends. Foster takes the first one for a ball. Now checks his swing, that one outside. And it's 2-0 on the outfielder from San Francisco.
A rare RBI chance for Darius Foster at the top of the order.
2-0
Ben,
to
stop
Foster.
crying.
Sorry. Just need a second. 2-0 to Foster. And again, outside. Foster, I don't know if he's checking his swing or just always ready to go around.
Yeah, he's got that Jose Bautista, Curtis Granderson little take.
Yeah.
That they do, and they just are always geared up to swing. It's just so that you can get your swing path correct.
And does it on the fourth pitch of the at-bat, 4 consecutive balls. And Melton walks the bases loaded here for Keith Torres, looking to get back on track offensively.
The only grand slam of the season belongs to Kemp Alderman, who would be due up a couple batters down the line.
I think Matt Thomas or Rocco Pepe would have something to say about that first.
I think Pepe would love to hit one here. I mean, he loves hitting here, period.
Absolutely. This one low and outside. Ball 1 to Torres. 0 for 3. 2 pop-outs and a strikeout looking. Foster on first. Martin on second. Gump 90 feet away at third base. Melton looking to get back on track here in the 6th inning. 1 gone. This one bounces short. But an excellent block by Avila behind the dish to hold the runners where they are. He'll go out to have a quick word with his pitcher. Second time this inning that Melton has really short-armed one about 5 feet or so short of the dish in the turf circle around the home plate area. Torres steps back in the back box from the right-handed side. Melton, the righty, comes set with the hands high at the chest. He kicks, he delivers, and misses again low and away for ball 3. 3-0 now to Torres. Nowhere to put him here with the bases loaded.
You should play the Twilight Zone theme here.
Torres just looking to get on base here. Drive it a run. Takes that one high. Ball 4. And the Big Train stretch their lead out to 3. 6-3 here with 1 out. Bases stay loaded in the top of the 6th, and that may be it for Melton, as we'll have a call to the bullpen here after just 1/3 of an inning for the righty out of Emory.
Yeah, and I was right. I said it might have been a harbinger of things to come when he walked his first batter, and he walked, well, 4 batters in that inning, and his night is done, and probably not a line he wants to go home to.
So allows no hits. His first earned run of the season comes home. Big Train add 1, and we'll get a DC Grays pitching change when we come back after this word from our friends at the Dandy Walker Alliance.
One in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy Walker syndrome. Dandy Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
So it'll be Joe Richardson, the fresh arm out of the pen here with one gone, and the bases juiced for Matt Thomas in the top of the sixth. The 6.75 ERA in 2 2/3 innings for number 24 in white. Comes set, ready to work from the stretch here. Slow step, kicks, fires, and misses a bit high, but a little bit closer than most of the pitches we saw from the previous guy. Got a very steady delivery, Richardson, and works the high stirrups perfectly. Kick, little hop step, and again misses high. Slightly interesting delivery, smooth kick, but again a little like kind of hop step as he starts the delivery home.
Yeah, I'll have to get a better look at it because I'm blinded by the sun right now, but let me take a look at his delivery with my hand over my eyes.
Revved up like a deuce, like a runner in the night. Tyler is blinded by the light as Thomas fouls that one. Straight barehanded play made by Sam Bender, hitting coach, first base coach extraordinaire. Gonna get you some sunglasses, Tyler. Boy Scouts always prepared.
Okay.
2-1 on Thomas with the bases loaded, one gone. 6-3 big train lead here in the sixth. And this one bends away out of the zone. 3 balls and 1 strike on the first baseman tonight. Big train looking to extend this lead here. Put a little more cushion between themselves and DC. 3-1. Thomas grounds this one up the left side. That's going to get by. Foster coming home from second, bounces in front of Avila. 2 RBIs for Matt Thomas as he does just that with a ground ball up the left side of the infield. Torres over to third safely. Thomas, a second and third RBI of the day with a second base knock for him.
Big train offense coming out in droves here in this inning and really just tattooing here.
So Gooseby threw Thomas out at the plate on a similar base knock by Rocco Pepe earlier, but no chance to get the speedy Foster revving around third base. This one bounces way off the chest protector, halfway back to the mound off of Avila, but not into no man's land enough for Torres to come home from third. So Martin scores along with Foster on the 2 RBI single by Thomas. Again, now up to 3 on the day. And we'll get a quick chat from Coach Terry. Don't believe this is another call to the bullpen as there's some light stretching, but no serious throwing going on out there. Just trying to settle his pitcher in. Working with Avila, the catcher. Torres off third. And Foster off first here. Thomas off first, rather. The 2 RBI single. Second RBI hit of the day again. And he has dined on plenty of ribeye steaks this season. That may be the favorite thing I'm going to steal from you, Tyler, is
what?
The ribeye steak.
I won the EFO.
I like the steak better. Anything about steak appeals to me. 1-0 to Rocco Pepe, and this one misses low, ball 2. Pepe looking for something to hit here. Held a little bit quieter than his previous trip to the Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. And he swings and misses through that one, and it'll be 2-1.
Southeast corner, DC.
Southeast quadrant, technically.
Just a stone's throw from the Potomac River, right?
Anacostia, I believe. Pepe hits this one high in the air to left. So Gooseby will settle under it. Torres coming home. He'll hold. No chance to tag there. Good throw cut off by Smith. And 2 gone here after a short fly out for Pepe. So Gooseby again trying to show off that arm. But Torres now trying to give him a chance to put another outfield assist to his name. And so that'll bring up Kemp Alderman here with runners 2 in scoring position. Thomas was able to advance to second on the sacrifice fly out. And Alderman will pump the hands, but take that one low and in front of him for ball 1. 8-3 Big Train here, a 5-run advantage in the 6th. Richardson back to work with the 1-0. Alderman scorches this one foul down the left field line. It'll be 1-1. Kemp also trying to settle in a little bit offensively today. 0 for 2. Walked in the 3rd. Stole second. Got a nice swiped bag to his name. Sharp line out to first. A great play by Peter Costigan his last time up. Here's the 1-1. Low for ball 2. .307 again down the left field line. 326 left center. 367 at the end of the chain link fence. Here's the 1-2. Alderman hits this one high in the air towards left field and wave that one goodbye. Straight between those 2 distance markers. Alderman goes yard for the first time in DC, his 6th of the season. This one is a 3-run bomb to left center field, and another Mississippi mash in the books for the Big Train.
And what did I say earlier? This ballpark is best suited for Kemp Alderman, and he absolutely slams one way out of here, and that's that power that we've always been talking about. We were hoping that he'd lose one, and he found that short porch and just drilled it.
Over the DC Grays bullpen beyond the left field fence, and maybe the easiest sounding big fly of the season for the mighty righty, number 33 in black, as he drips another 3-run bomb beyond the outfield fence to make it 11-3 Big Train here in the 6th, as they've now hung 6 in the 6th. What do you know?
And they're 4 runs away from the witching run, I believe.
Alderman just has so much smooth, easy power in those hands. Just turned on that one as he pulled it straight towards the light tower to the left of the center field wall. Just makes it look so easy as he takes away the home run lead from teammate Matt Thomas.
That was bound to happen at some point.
Thomas had a few games of a head start on him. Kemp able to come from behind with number 6 right there. Just his 2nd outside of Lorton, Virginia.
I think they're coming to get Kemp Alderman for that crime against.
No, that's a ambulance. They're coming to rescue that baseball. As Doyle swings through that one. 3-2 now. Count full. Doyle 2 strikeouts and a walk tonight. Came around to score in the 2nd on the triple by Dylan Hatfield. He laces this one high in the air. This one's got a chance in no man's land. Bandura coming in, Vandenberg coming out, and nobody able to get there. Perfectly dropped into no man's land, and Trevor Doyle has himself his first hit of the night. And the Big Train have batted through now here in the 6th. With Brady Gump coming to bat for the 2nd time in the frame.
Very good inning as they just continue to tack on here, and maybe we'll get a 7-inning first game, Ben.
Nobody's going to complain about a little more time in between the two. As Brady Gump will look to extend this lead here. Doyle off of first. Richardson laboring through his relief appearance here in the 6th. Puts a nice off speed in there for a called strike 1 on Gump. So far this inning, Gump, Martin, and Foster walked with a Hatfield pop out to the shortstop in between them Torres walked to bring Gump home. And then Thomas brought home Martin and Foster. Pepe flew out to left, and Kemp Alderman cleared the bases with a 3-run home run to deep left field to make it a 6 spot here in the top of the 6th, and an 11-3 game overall as Gump takes that one for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on the left fielder out of Notre Dame. Richardson set. No look on the runner. He'll go. Throw down to Doyle in time. Tag put down. Did he lose the baseball? Yes. Vandenberg squirted loose, and the umpires will discuss. Vandenberg not happy with the safe call there. And we'll get a quick conference in front of the mound. Home plate umpire gesturing that they're going to the headset, but I don't think there's any direct line to Secaucus here at the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy.
Yeah, the only direct line near here is Anacostia, and that's not really close to Secaucus either. But who's the crew chief today?
We never figured out their names, did we? And he is indeed safe at second. So Doyle with another eventful trip to second base. This time does reach second safely with the swiped bag. It'll be 2-2, I believe, on Doyle. Indeed, it will be. Scoreboard corrected now. Richardson will have to shake off the runner on second and just try to get the final out of this inning. It's been a long one for the Big Train. Richardson looking to put a tourniquet on this one. He kicks, he fires, the 2-2, bounces away, Doyle down to third. And he's 90 feet away from the 12th run of this one for the Big Train. And the count is full on Doyle, or on Gump, rather.
Trying to put a tourniquet on this one, but he's just come in and poured gasoline on the fire in this inning. Sometimes that happens. Long, resounding home run from Kemp Alderman.
By far the highlight of this one. Richardson fires, swung on, and missed in the dirt. From Richardson to Gump. He goes down swinging, but not before a big 6 spot as the Big Train extend their lead 11-3. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Kyle Robinson back to the mound, and Buford hits this one high in the air towards right. Doyle settles under it. 1 pitch, 1 out for Kyle Robinson here in the bottom of the 6th. A little too far under that one. The shortstop out of Grambling. And he is retired for the second time tonight. Bringing up Jared Sprague-Lott. Identical lines for those two so far tonight, each with a walk and a strikeout swinging. We'll see if Sprague-Lott decides to add a flyout to right, as he will see at least double the pitches from Buford here as he takes the first one in there for a called strike from Robinson. Working quickly, this one squirts out of Hatfield's mitt inside for ball one on Sprague-Lott. So 1 in the first, 4 in the second, 6th in the 6th for the Big Train. That adds up to 11 total. Just 3 in the first for DC. Big Train pitching has worked around the Grays' bats since. This one low in the dirt for ball 3. 3-1 now to Sprague-Lott. And Robinson gets a high fly ball. Foster coming in. No chance for Doyle to make that. So similar lines for Buford and Sprague-Lott, but 2 gone regardless for Ben Avila.
Very solid 2-line of work right now.
Robinson has retired all 5 batters East faced so far. No strikeouts yet. Ground out, a line out, pop out, and now a couple of flyouts here in the 6th. Some strong innings, middle relief from the young man en route to Texas Tech. He gets a swing and a miss there. 1-1 now on Avila. Struck out in the first, was close to striking out in the third. Healing erased his at-bat in its middle. Was hit by a pitch, caught out in the fielder's choice in the 4th. 1-2 here. Breaking ball misses. A little bit low. 2 balls and 2 strikes on the catcher out of Grambling. He gives this one a ride, and Robinson will backhand that himself. I think. No, it squirted by. He tried to come off the mound and cover that. It was hit sharply up the right side of the infield. I think it got by Thomas.
I think that's just going to be a single there.
I think it hit off of Robinson's hand, maybe?
Yeah.
Craig Lopez coming all the way in from the bullpen to give him something. Maybe check on that hand a little bit. Regardless, Avila will reach first for the second time tonight safely. Not sure exactly what happened there. Missed it a little bit. The sun right in our eyes. As Nehemiah Wright will come in here with 2 outs and a runner on first. First base runner to reach against Kyle Robinson in 1 2/3 innings of work so far. And he starts off with a bender outside to right. 1-0. The long righty comes set, kicks and fires home a little bit high, ball 2. Robinson, Virginia native, but grew up a Phillies fan. Cites Aaron Nola as his favorite MLB pitcher. Check swing there all the way around. No chance for Wright to hold back on that one, and it's 2-1. Now, you and I both have particular feelings about that choice, but we'll let it be. 2-1 to Wright. Tapped up to Robinson. He flips it over to Thomas. First out. I think Wright thought that one was foul. Saw a similar play in the Nationals-Giants game last night. Wright thought it was foul, maybe tapped off the plate or his foot or something, but an easy 1-3 put out for Kyle Robinson to Matt Thomas there. Works around the single to Ben Avila and retires the side in short order. 7 up and 6 down for Robinson. We head to the top of the 7th with an 11-3 Big Train lead on the scoreboard here at the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. Martin Hatfield, top of the order here in the 7th. Big Train looking to add to this 11-3 lead. And they'll do so against the guy they saw a couple weeks ago down here in D.C., who had one of the more interesting lines we've seen so far this season, Tyler, in a hefty relief appearance for D.C.
Bulk in every sense of the word back on the 23rd. In 3 2/3 innings, he allowed 5 hits, 8 earned runs, 8 walks, and 1 strikeout.
And how many pitches for those counting at home?
It's 90 plus. I don't remember the exact.
I think it was 95 on the nose.
95 or 94 around
first
there.
pitch strike in there to Christian Martin. He recovered a little bit of his stuff since that tough appearance. Sort of roundabout appearance as Martin sends this one sky high towards left field. Saguspi settles under it. 2 pitches, 1 out for Hassan Akil here in the top of the 7th.
Starting off way differently than his last line did.
I believe he came in middle relief partway through the 6th in that game. An eventual victory for the Big Train. First pitch fouled off by Dylan Hatfield, who had a great start to this one with a 3 RBI triple for his first extra base hit of this season. Has had a pretty nice defensive game behind the dish as well. Thrown out a couple runners. Takes that one in there a little tight for ball 1. Akil came in midway through the 6th. I believe he walked the first 5 batters he faced in the 6th inning of that one. 6 runs came home. Just as 6 runs came home in the 6th tonight. So maybe Big Train with a chance to put some more distance between themselves and DC down the stretch here.
Yeah, and the guy that they tattooed his last time around and were very patient with, it's a guy you have to be patient with. That line really sticks out like a sore thumb on his season.
Ready for the 2-1 here, and swing and a miss from Hatfield. Got a ball low there. We hear some heavy pops again in the bullpen. Likely see the end of the line for Kyle Robinson after 2 very strong innings. Akil on the season, 8 appearances, 1 start. As that one misses for ball 3 to send the count full. 10 innings of work, 11 hits, 18 runs, 17 of them earned. 21 walks, just 1 strikeout. So the control has been an issue with that 15.3 ERA as he gets a foul back straight into the screen here, and the count will stay full on Dylan Hatfield, the catcher tonight.
I don't think anyone's up in the bullpen for the Big Train right now.
I was hearing something. Somebody's throwing down there.
I'll take a look.
They're just tucked straight against the wall.
Looks to like
Here's the 3-2 from Akil.
It's Everett Catlett.
Inside, tight. And Hatfield works the walk for his first non-hit of the day on base. And so 1 gone. 1 on for Darius Foster and the top of the order.
Yeah, it looks like to be Everett Catlett up in the bullpen, our guy.
A lot of height in the pitching plan today, apparently. Well over 19 feet between those 3 guys, Baker, Robinson, and Catlett. Robinson the shortest at 6'5"-ish. Here's the 1-0 to Foster. Bounces away for ball 2. So a good start for Akil to get Martin to fly out to left on 2 pitches, but slowly losing control through his next 2 batters now. Got the full count on Hatfield before issuing a free pass. And now starts off Foster with a 2-0 count. Stretch, high kick, and that one finds the dish, 2-1. Just about 2 hours into this one. Here with 1 out in the top of the 7th and an 8-run Big Train lead. 2-1 to Foster. Fouled straight over the DC dugout. Takes a 1 hop into some fans over there. And it'll be an even count. 2 balls and 2 strikes for Foster now. Here's the 2-2. Foster, check swing. Grounder up to the second base side. Hatfield didn't know where it was, and so stopped halfway down the line. Wasn't sure if that one was in the air or not. He's gunned down on the fielder's choice as Vandenberg flips it over to Buford at second for out number 2. Foster reaches safely on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, had to freeze in case that was a line drive, Dylan Hatfield, and was toast at second base.
Darius Foster kind of checked his swing with a halfway movement of that lumber and just squirted it straight to Vandenberg at second. Lefty move by Akil to check on Foster at first. 3rd time on base tonight. He walked and scored in the 1st and the 6th innings. 1 stolen base on the night. Akil looking to prevent a second. Here he goes. Avila firing. Not even close, as that throw is a little bit late and a little bit short as Vandenberg dived on it, trying to stop Foster from getting the 3rd, but he's into scoring position now with 2 outs for Keith Torres.
Man just runs and guns. Really, there's nothing more to it.
Foster heading for 3rd now. Avila firing way high. And again, Smith with a valiant effort to haul that one in. And I mean, Foster reaches safely on the fielder's choice. 2 pitches later, he's 90 feet away on 3rd base. What else can you say?
He's gunning for that title, that all-time record for stolen bases in a season for Big Train.
3 so far today. There's that one in there for strike 1 on Keith Torres. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Okay.
So 21 for 24 now on the year for Darius Foster in stolen bases. He's inching towards the Big Train all-time record. This one hit high in the air towards right, but he settles under it easily. Foster stranded at 3rd. Big Train leave him aboard. Can't add anything here in the top of the 7th. Time to stretch here at the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. It's an 11-3 Big Train lead, middle of the 7th on Big Train TV. New pitcher here for the big train in the bottom of the 7th. Everett Catlett coming out of the bullpen. The rising sophomore at Georgetown University will relieve Kyle Robinson. Catlett on the year, 4 appearances, 5 innings of work, a 3.60 ERA as he works this one a little bit inside on Scott Bandora, the center fielder. 5 innings of work for Catlett, 5 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. No extra base hits allowed. Bandora checks his swing, similar to Foster's style, with that kind of, like you said, Jose Bautista-esque take, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, and guys will do that, and that's actually how Jose Bautista was able to be so good.
This one grounded up the right side. Martin backhanded snag, and he flips it over to Thomas in time to retire Bandora for the 4th time tonight on an infield groundout.
Yeah, but as I was saying, that's how Jose Bautista was able to transform his swing from when he was a lowly Pirates player to just 54 home runs in a single season.
Wait, you mean people leave the Pirates and get better?
Some people on the Pirates are good, Ben. They got a couple All-Stars this year.
Deservedly so. See how long they remain on the Pirates. 1 gone here in the bottom of the 7th for Everett Catlett. Facing the top of the order in Bandora, Vandenberg, and Smith due up for DC. Bandora already retired as Vandenberg quickly works a 1-1 count here.
Bandora nearly the infield ground out roulette. He's grounded out to second base twice now, but to pitcher and to short or to third just needs to short and to first base to finish it off. But he hasn't that was his 4th at bat.
We'll see if the Grays batting is able to get him back to the plate here. Time running out for DC in this 11-8 game as Catlett gets the strikeout looking on Vandenberg, and there's 2 gone here in the 7th. Beautiful placement there on the off speed.
Just a beautiful K there for Everett Catlett, as there does seem to be more action in the train bullpen.
A lot of names available,
Jack
obviously,
Cohn.
with a lot of baseball to be played. About 9 innings left now. As this one is a first pitch ground ball up the right side. Martin able to flip, Catlett collected, and it bounced all the way. Actually, Catlett coming over to cover. Great play there by the right side of the infield. Thomas ranging over to try to scoop that up backhand. Martin able to back him up and prevent it from rolling onto the outfield. Catlett able to get to the bag and cover, but Martin's throw a little bit wild, and with the batter, Evan Smith, hustling down the first base line, Catlett couldn't snag that one. Trickled back to Hatfield behind the plate. And so Smith is aboard here to break up the perfect appearance for Everett Catlett after 2 batters.
I think that's going to be a single. It was a tough play to make for anybody.
No,
really.
absolutely.
Straight up single there. Just a tough play for Thomas, and then Martin. We've raved about his defense this season. That just shows how good he is at backing up his players and making good plays out there on defense.
He's got really great range in that second base hole, as this one is hit sharply foul on the ground up the third base line. 0-2 in a hole here is Costigan.
So did they score that a single?
I believe so, yes. Yes, single. No doubt about that one in my mind.
That would be a painful error to take if it was an error.
Give credit to the DC official scorer. They've been having a good game, to my eye. Oh-2 here on Costigan. And this one grounded towards the right side. Hopper for Torres. Reaches out. Matt Thomas snags it. Good play there. 6-3 put out. So DC gets 1 hit and they strand him instantly as Catlett and the Big Train defense able to work around it. Top of the 8th. Game winding down here with the Big Train holding on to an 11-3 lead. Strike one here from Hassan Akil to Matt Thomas to start things off in the top of the 8th. 11-3 Big Train, an 8-run advantage. 1-1 now as that one misses a bit outside. Foster, impressive night for him at the plate. 2 RBI singles, 3 runs driven in total. Walked as well. Struck out swinging in the 5th. They're going to start things off in the 8th. He hits this one high and deep to center field. This one's got a chance, but Bandura will track it back just before the wall, deep onto the warning track. And Thomas with a loud fly out to start things here in the 8th.
EFO on your behalf, Ben, but just an F8 to center field. That was deepest part of the ballpark, though. If that was hit anywhere else, probably out. Gave it a ride, just came up empty.
Hit very well, but as you said, straight to the deepest part, just to the right of center field, 369 to dead center. And Thomas just missed there on that one. Bandura, no real issue for him. About a step in front of the green wall. One gone here for Rocco Pepe, who could be due as well. Homered off of Akil last time he saw him as he takes this one inside 2-0. Akil with that front arm dangling, comes set, hands to the belt. Long kick and loop-de-loop delivery of the off-speed inside and tight on Pepe. 3-0, and got to think Rocco's looking for one to hit here.
Yeah, I mean, he probably knows that he loves hitting here in DC. You know, just one of two home run games this season for anybody.
And this one is hit sharply, hit high, hit deep, hit out of here. Pepe gets a pitch and a green light on the 3-0 and crushes this one. Same place as Alderman over the DC Grays bullpen and left, and he makes it a 12-3 game with a big fly way out of here.
DC, it's just the stomping grounds for Rocco Pepe, apparently. He just loves it down here. You know, and there's certain places where guys love to hit. I mean, MLB, there's guys like Ryan Howard used to love to hit at Shea Stadium and Citi Field, but like Rocco Pepe here in DC is almost the same as that.
4th big fly of the year for Hey Rocco. All 4 of them here in the friendly confines of the Nationals Youth Baseball Academy as he makes good use of that short porch in left. Now 1-0 to another guy who would like to see a pitch to hit here. Takes this one above his head. 2-0 now. Love to see what Kemp would do to the pitch Pepe just got. 2-0. Akil wanting to put a strike in there as this one bounces behind Kemp. And it'll be 3-0. And that's the problem for Akil is he can either just put Kemp on here with a walk, or he can do what he just did to Pepe, where on 3-0, you have to either give up a walk or put a pitch over the plate.
Right.
And if Kemp sees one here, as he takes this one high and inside, discards the bat after working the 4-pitch walk. Akil not trying to give up back-to-back jacks.
Yeah, I think he learned his lesson on the first batter.
So Alderman aboard with the second walk of the game for him. Last plate appearance was that 3-1 yoke to deep left field. And that'll bring up Trevor Doyle, who has to duck out of the way. He's already been conked once on the helmet this season. Not in the mood for another. This one low, and it's ball number 6 in a row.
It's just sheer dominance when and he now has the chance to homer both ends of the doubleheader. Him and Kemp currently stand as that chance. We haven't seen that yet this season in their lone doubleheader that they have played. They've got more coming up too.
And this one hits sharply to first base. Alderman hustling over to try to avoid the double play, but can. Another fantastic defensive turn from Peter Costigan will end the inning right there. But the big train tack on one more on the loud fly ball from Rocco Pepe way out of here over the 326 sign for his 4th home run here in D.C. It's 12-3 big train. Bottom of the 8th coming up next. Jack Cohn with the flow in tow, taking the mound here in the 8th for the Big Train, his 6th appearance of the year. 1 start in that, 7 2/3 innings of work, 8 hits, 8 runs, 7 of them earned, 6 walks, 14 strikeouts, a slightly bloated 8.21 ERA, but his last 2 outings have been very effective, and he starts off with a pop in the mid of Dylan Hatfield, strike 1 on Jared Sprague-Lott, the designated hitter.
Yeah, it's a bit, like you said, it's a bit bloated because of that 1 outing where he allowed 6 earned runs.
On Peter Costigan, rather. Tough 2-inning outing about a month ago down in, or a couple weeks ago, up in Gaithersburg. But quickly ahead here, 0-2. This one bouncing a little bit in the dirt. Ball 1. And this one smashed just over the head of Torres, and that will get down for a base knock here. So I believe we actually have a pinch hitter in for Seguspy, the left fielder. Costigan made the final out of the 7th. It'll be Cooper Vest, the utility man for DC, checking in there with a base knock on the 1-2 count.
We saw him pitch against the Big Train.
Yep. Gave that one a solid ride as Buford chops this one to Pepe. Over to Martin in time, but he sails the throw wide of Thomas on the relay. Buford reaches on the fielder's choice and the throwing error by the second baseman. But a good job there by the Big Train defense to erase the lead runner and get 1 out here in the 8th.
Yeah, very good about that one. You know, they got a couple of fielder's choices today, and they'll take that any way they can. Jack Cohn, of course, probably likes that as well, getting it out.
And keeps the double play on.
Right.
No harm, no foul. Hatfield right in position to back that up, keep Buford at first. He'll dangle that arm down as Cohn pumps the heater a little high on Sprague-Lott now.
So ever since DC had that 3-run opening inning, they just haven't scored.
I mean, what does that tell you, Tyler, about the stability of this Big Train team and their ability to respond after really a tough first inning? A couple errors, a couple unearned runs. Baker really settled in after that, and the offense responded.
Yeah, it's a big as there's a big swing and a miss there by the hitter Jared Sprague-Lott, but I think it just shows that how dependable this bullpen can be and how great some of the arms are out of this pen. There's some guys that have had some rough outings, but every one of them has pitched really well this season at some point.
And the offense did just what they needed to do now with 12 runs through 8 innings. 1-2 here on Sprague-Lott with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. The Big Train looking to take game 1 of this twilight doubleheader, as you like to say.
That's
Late
what it
afternoon into the evening. And Jack Cohn bends one in there for the strikeout looking of Sprague-Lott, and there's 2 gone.
Moving judiciously here through the later innings against the DC Grays, which you like to see with another game on the docket after this one. Likely going to start around 7:30. This game will probably get over around then, and it'll be 30-ish minutes after the first one is done. Twilight doubleheader, and yours truly will be on the call for that game. God help us all.
Get the shortened game.
They can't silence me for too long.
We'll do our best, don't you worry. Ball 1, a little high on Ben Avila, the catcher.
Of course, the Big Train back in action tomorrow as we continue our endless amount of coverage on this team as they play every day in a row. They will play.
Busy week ahead. Of course, the rain out last night, erasing the day off scheduled for Tuesday. We'll play Alexandria at Povich Field, and then twice with another twilight doubleheader scheduled for Wednesday afternoon down in Northern Virginia. This one, beautiful heater in there, and it's 2-2 on Avila.
And they'll play South County tomorrow and then host the Silver Spring Tacoma T-Bolts. I believe that might be the last time they play the T-Bolts this year. Oh, no, they have one more game against the T-Bolts, but their final date with the Braves is tomorrow night.
And 2-1. I think they had the scoreboard wrong. That's mea culpa for trusting it, as now it's 2-2 on Ben Avila. Good off-speed pitch there from Cone.
Por qué no los
Keep
dos?
Avila on his toes. Cone's set out of the stretch, front foot a little bit forward. Short kick, swing. Fastball in there, called strike 3. Avila retired on strikes. And Jack Cone does yeoman's work here in the bottom of the 8th. Big Train hangs their 7th consecutive 0 on the scoreboard, taking a 12-3 lead. Top of the 9th coming up next on Big Train. All aboard for the 9th inning of Big Train Baseball here from the Nationals Youth Baseball Academy in Southeast D.C. 12-3, as this one is rocketed straight to Trevor Doyle, or straight to Scott Pandora. Brady Gump at the bat. Didn't even get the Big Train name I was using correct. Gump just absolutely scorched that one, but straight to Bandora in center field. So Kyle Chmielewski has his first out of the day, coming in to relieve Hassan Akil after 2 innings of work. Plenty of arms coming out of the bullpen tonight. 6th for Reggie Terry and the DC pitching staff in the game now. As Chmielewski goes into the windup, and Martin rips one over the leaping Peter Costigan, and Wright will pick that one up. Fire over to Buford to hold Martin to a hard hit single. So a couple of loud pieces of contact here between Gump, and Martin. But Martin able to reach first successfully there.
Yeah, and I've been just thoroughly impressed with Christian. I almost said Matt Martin, Christian Martin out there. He just continues to endear himself to this lineup.
Absolutely, really has worked himself into some stable plate appearances here, and doing Hatfield looking to do the same. One of his best nights offensively so far, of course, the big go-ahead 3 RBI triple way back in the second inning. Came around to score as well in that one. Worked a walk in his last plate appearance. And just trying to settle in as he takes a big rip at that one on the 2-0 pitch. Sends it to 2 balls and 1 strike here against Chmielewski. 6 appearances, 8 innings of work, 12 hits, 8 runs, just 5 of them earned, 6 strikeouts and 3 walks. A 5.62 ERA for number 2 as drops that breaking ball in a little bit too low for ball 3 on Hatfield. Sure would be perfectly happy with another walk, but would also love a pitch to hit here on the 3-1. Gets one, but a little bit under it as he sends it way over towards the All-Star Pavilion, just behind the press box here at the Youth Baseball Academy. Really has settled into a beautiful night here with the sun disappearing beyond the clouds. Here's the 3-2, check swing. No, he didn't, says the first base umpire. Took a while to realize that he was being checked to. And Hatfield will work his second straight walk. 2 aboard here with 1 out in the top of the 9th.
Been a solid day at the plate for Dylan Hatfield. A couple of walks and that triple. That was fun.
Just a hard hit ball. Wright was coming on trying to make a sliding catch, and the ball just bounced straight under it. And as you mentioned at the time, with the give of this turf, that thing just took a trip straight to the outfield wall. Bases loaded, no more. Bases clearing, triple as Martin dances off second. Chmielewski didn't hear the call to step off in time, and so he delivers that one a little bit outside, and it's ball 2 on Foster. Takes that one in there for a strike. Reached on a fielder's choice, stole 2 bags back in the 7th, and he rips this one just foul up the first base line. Way out in front of that one, the lefty absolutely torched over the head of Dylan Hatfield, Peter Costigan, and our first place umpire as Wright finally able to get that baseball out of play. And Foster will settle back in with a 2-2 count on him. 1 out, 2 on here in the 9th. Chmielewski trying to avoid any more damage for DC and get this thing to game 2. This one high outside, and the count is full.
It'll be interesting to see how they rejigger their lineup for the second game tonight. We're on the call for that, too. Can't escape us from too long.
3-2, Foster under this one and sends it foul towards the Park Police stable. Feed that baseball to the horses. Count stays full. I mean, if you look up and down the lineup, except for maybe the catcher, this has been pretty much the starting 9 for DC every time we've seen him. As Foster gets in front of one there, chasing. And Chmielewski gets him to go down swinging. 2 gone here in the 9th. Martin off second and Hatfield off first. 2 aboard with 2 out here for Keith Torres. Takes the first pitch he sees tight. Ball 1. Hatfield working his on-base percentage up a little bit. Got the average up a little bit as well. 1-0. Misses again for ball 2 to Torres. This one misses outside with the breaking ball. First 2 were tight. This one, not enough, and it's 3-0 on Torres. Chmielewski set, 3-0 inside. It's a 4-pitch walk, and again, the bases are loaded, this time for Matt Thomas.
Wouldn't Thomas love to send one into oblivion for a grand slam? We
He's
saw a
still-
3-run home run today. We saw a solo shot today, and maybe they can get the home run cycle in 2 halves of the doubleheader.
Maybe. Haven't seen many 2-run shots, I feel like, from this team. Seen a couple 3 runs, bunch of solos. Thomas takes the first one high for ball 1.
And 1 single grand slam.
Yep.
And that belongs to Kemp Alderman. Very exclusive club that not many people are in right now. Thomas hoping to get in.
Takes that one outside, and 6 straight misses from Kyle Chmielewski out of Lafayette. The righty kicks and delivers. Gets a swing and miss there on the off speed. Thomas looking to scorch that one into the night. And it's 2-1 now on the rising junior at William and Mary. Steady batting stance, front foot loads, and he swings and misses. And it's 2-2 now. Wind really has died down in the later innings of this one. And again, just a beautiful night for baseball here as Chmielewski into the windup with the 2-2 tight, and the count is full. Here's the 3-2. Runners going. Thomas drives this one into right field. Right working back. And that one is gone for a grand slam for Matt Thomas. A line drive home run over the right field fence. And Thomas opens this one up even more. 16-3 Big Train.
What did I say, Matt? Thomas grand slam. I've called all 3 home runs today. I don't know, what can I say? More than just, I am just very happy with how this team has played today. And, 3 home runs today. 3 guys get a chance to hit home runs in both halves of the doubleheader. And the grand slam, 1 2-run shot away from hitting for the home run cycle. And that one was a line drive shot.
It's a 4-run Oppo Taco for Thomas. He drives that one over the head of Nehemiah Wright.
Yahtzee!
And Pepe looking to answer. Works 2 balls on the inside, and it's quickly 0-2. So Thomas gets a chance with the bases loaded and 2 outs and does not disappoint, as it's just the 2nd grand slam of the season.
7 RBI today for Matt Thomas, too.
Absolutely. 3 coming into that of 2 singles. That one a little bit louder than his other 2 RBI base knocks. And he answers Kemp and again moves into a tie as Pepe hits this one way up in the air, but not nearly deep enough. Bandora settles underneath it, and the Big Train bats are done. But not after a very loud night at the plate. 16 runs home, 2 very big home runs from Alderman and Thomas with a Rocco Pepe solo shot sprinkled in there as well. 16-3. Big Train lead, 3 outs away from another trip to Victory Station. Bottom of the 9th. So Nehemiah Wright walking up to Jordan Belfort, looking to make some money here against Jack Cohn. Back out for his second inning of work, into the windup, and delivers that one over the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike now on Wright. A 16-3 lead for the Big Train. Make it 15 runs unanswered. They started out with 1 in the top of the first. A sloppy bottom allowed 3 DC Grays runs to come home, and Big Train have responded offensively in a massive manner. That one runs inside, and it's a 5-pitch walk to Nehemiah Wright, and he's on board here to start the bottom of the 9th.
Nehemiah Wright, that's just the second time he's reached base today, but yeah, very, very loud home run from Matt Thomas, and they're 3/4 of the way to the home run cycle.
Just a 2-run shot would do it, I guess. I don't know if that's that big of an achievement, but to get there, to get 3/4 of the way there in one game is remarkable. Hopefully they save some runs for game 2 of this doubleheader. As it's ball 1, Wright going, Hatfield throwing, bouncing, and not in time on the tag by Torres. 1 hopper into his mitt, couldn't get the swipe down. And Wright into scoring position here with a stolen base.
I don't know why Nehemiah Wright is running there, down 16-3.
I can think of other things to complain about.
Yeah, I know, but like you don't run in a 16-3 game. It's just an unwritten rule. An unwritten rule that I would follow.
Bandora grinds this one to Pepe. He looks over right from third, now firing back. Thomas punching him out.
That's why you don't run.
Pepe did a great job to hold Wright at second, fired over to Thomas to erase Scott Bandora, and Thomas, for the second time this season from the first base position, firing back to, I think it was Torres covering at third base.
Very rare.
This time got the tag down on Nehemiah Wright, and just like that, 2 gone, and the Big Train have DC down to their final out here at the Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. Cone out of the windup, fires, missing just a bit outside. And it's ball 1 to Vandenberg.
A very rare 5-3-6 double play. Don't see that turn too often.
Thomas did something similar with a runner on third down in South County the other night. This time a little bit more substantial, throwing out right, trying to get to third base as Cone drops that one a little bit outside. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Vandenberg, who started off hot with back-to-back singles in the first and second, scored in the first. Grounded out to short and struck out looking in the 4th and 7th. So Bandora, by the way, 2 ground outs apiece to third and second, 1 to the pitcher. Just ignoring Keith Torres as Vandenberg rockets that one foul up the third base line.
Final strike here for DC, and it's just been a rough night at the ballpark for them. 15 unanswered runs for the Big Train.
1 in the first, 4 in the second, 6th in the 6th, 1 in the 8th, and 4 in the 9th. That's 16. Here's the 3-2. Grounded up the middle. Martin will take it. Fires over. Thomas scoops, and the Big Train win. 16-3, the final score. The Bats come to DC and get the job done. 8 consecutive zeros put up by the Big Train bullpen, and they dominate DC in Game 1 of the doubleheader.
What a game it was for the Big Train. I mean, home runs galore. They've been bereft of power the last couple of games. They responded today by hitting 3 of them here in a place they love to hit. They just love coming down here to Southeast DC and playing some ball. It's a very nice ballpark, and we'll have you right back for Game 2.
Absolutely. Matt Thomas, your player of the game?
Yeah, I think it has to be Matt Thomas. 7 ribeye steaks in this one. He is not hungry at all after this game and looking for more in the second half. We'll have to see if he adds to his RBI total or if he just gets the night off. We'll have to see.
How about Christian Martin as well? 2 for 4 with 2 base knocks, a walk, and 3 runs scored. Keith Torres with a decent back half of the game as well. But as you mentioned, all cylinders firing for the Big Train. All 9 of their starting batters come home to score, most of them at least twice, as they bring home 16 in massive fashion here in Game 1. This one wrapped